Maggie Klein, welcome to the Breakfast Nook. So I have a question. Is comicgate over, or is it still ongoing? Recently I went to Diversity Comic, Diverse in Comics, which has changed its name to Your Boy Zach, and his latest video only had 12K viewers, which I'm like, looks like it's over. I mean, if you're only getting 12K complaining about how left-wing the comic book industry has become, then I think your movement is kind of lost steam and is dying. Honestly, my opinion about comicgate was the premise that modern comics are garbage. I agree with. I don't read modern comics. The last modern comic that I liked was some Tim Kick work on Miracle Man. I loved that book. And I do love Tim Kick's work. And I also loved Last Ronin. Last Ronin was really good. It was a good TMT send-off as we saw all the turtles die. Spoiler alert. And we find the final days of the turtles. And it was really good. But really? Is the comic industry even doing well anymore? I mean, the comic industry is kind of in its doldrums. I just read articles about how it's not doing well, and there hasn't been any major breakouts since Saga, other than maybe Last Ronin. And are trans creators creating comics still? I don't know. I haven't really I don't seek out comics by trans writers because, honestly, I don't care. I want to read superhero comics, and I don't want to mix politics in my superhero comics. I don't care about diversity in comics. I mean, I do care about diversity. I think that, having an ethnically diverse or having LGBTQ representation is nice, and having trans characters is nice. But Batman's a white cis male, so. And I'm going to read a Batman before I read something that's avant-garde. That said, is comicgate over? Because even I got caught up in comicgate. So at first I came out for comicgate and said I agree with the movement and talked about it and was reasonable and people backed me up. And then all of a sudden I got attacked by one of the head comicgate guys for making an anti-comicgate video saying I was going to attack comicgate people, which I have deleted the video, by the way, so you can't find it anymore. It might be in the Wayback Machine. But the honest truth was, it was going to an anti-comic-gator to meet an anti-comic-gator, so it made me laugh as hard as I could because I just found it funny, and then I got attacked very heavily by Comicgate. And I even got a hate video, to which I recently discovered and started posting trolls, where the guy, this video is hilarious. The guy calls me ugly. If you haven't figured that out yet, I'm ugly as hell. I openly admit that. However, that hasn't stopped me. I've never had sex. Well, what about my kid? What about my 2 marriages? What about the fact that I've lost count of my sexual partners? Honestly, I don't know. I haven't had sex in 2... It's true I haven't had sex in a while, but that's mostly out of choice, not out of lack of trying. I don't try. I don't want to really... After I got divorced the second time, I decided that I was asexual and didn't want any more relationships. So I haven't had a relationship since. And I'm actually much happier and healthier in my life because no longer do I have to care and depend on someone else and have to emotionally support someone else. I now just take care of myself and my kid, and that's it. Oh, and he also said I was on welfare and on food stamps and on disability. Look, when I graduated college, I've worked every day since I graduated college, except for the time periods where I was out of a job, and I found a job within a month. Why? Oh, because I'm technically skilled at my job, and I'm really good at my job, so I always find work because people want to hire me? I've never applied for disability, but I am disabled, but I've never had a reason to apply for disability because I've always had work. And my disabilities don't interfere enough with my job that I can't work, so yes, love the hate, love the inaccuracies about me, making fun of me that I'm a loser when the person making the video is probably a bigger loser than me. And yes, I'm morbidly obese. Yes, I openly admit that I'm mortally obese. Do I look like a man or a woman? I don't care. I'm non-binary now. I'm still trans, but I'm non-binary. I got my she/her pronouns though, and I've never regretted my decision. I've never had to justify it or anything like that, or defend it, or say I made the right decision. It wasn't a decision. It was just the natural order of things for me. It felt the natural way of things. I was never talked into it. I was never. In fact, people tried to talk me out of it. Quite the opposite. I lost my first wife over my transition. But so I always have been amused by comicgate. It's mostly ran by Zach, your boy. I've talked to him too. I mean, I've sent him emails and I've read his works. And I do like his works. I like Jawbreakers. I bought it through the GoFundMe or through the Kickstarter or however I bought it. I liked the first story. It was really good, great art. And then the second story I found to be terrible. One of my favorite war comics was written by Zach, your boy. He wrote a Korean War comic, and it was really well done, and I loved it. And I've told him that not to his face. I've never met him, but I have no issues with him. He has his opinions, and this is America. You're allowed to have your opinions. Is the comic industry left? I don't know. Is it all about diversity and all this? I don't know. Do we need more diversity in comics? I don't know. I mean, honestly, comics have been white as long as I can remember, and it's about time that we feature more women characters and people of color, and made them great heroes. I agree with that. But I'm not going to buy them. And honestly, the industry is now down to 40 and 50-year-olds who have been reading comics since they were kids, and we're not bringing in the kids to comics anymore because, well, they're not that good. I mean, now, I don't even know what happened to Image. Image used to be, when Image came out, it was all about the superheroes and all these great creators. And then it became this independent comic book stream, and I haven't read much of Image in years. The last Image comic I read, honestly, was Saga. Well, Walking Dead, too. I picked up Walking Dead when I was working in Portugal. And one of my coworkers said, you gotta read it, and I read it, and I thought it was good up until a point, and then I got bored with it, and like I do with a lot of comic book series, I get bored with it and stop reading it. But honestly, I think comicgate is over. The comic book market is where it is. It's dying, and I don't think it can be saved. And I don't think, I mean, Superman now is almost 100 years old, and is there much left to be telling about Superman at this point? I mean, Batman's almost 100 years old. Is there much to be left talking about Batman these days? I don't know. And if I was a trans creator writing a comic book, I wouldn't have trans characters in my book. I wouldn't have LGBTQ characters. I might. Well, actually, that's a difference. I might have one, just... But I don't think I would, because, honestly, your sexual orientation really doesn't pertain if you're a superhero or not. It's not about romance. It's not about this or that. It's about good characters and good stories. And that's fundamentally, that's why Last Run was so good, because it was a good story. And that's why I love it. So I'm going to say at this point, comicgate is over.